Hey guys, so I haven't uploaded a Stone Legion Generals Mythic video yet, and a few people have asked one. So I'm basically just going to have it playing in the background, maybe go over a little bit about the fight, some of the mistakes that I make, because as always, even though it's sort of decent damage-wise overall, there's a ton of mistakes and things that could have been done way, way better. Also, this fight is sort of an absolute nightmare for raid leaders, so if there's anything I can think of from that kind of perspective, then I'll probably try and point that out as well. But yeah, firstly, talents for Mythic Stone Legion. Sort of usual M+ talents, but with steady focus over streamline. This is honestly quite an interesting one because if you look at logs right now, the vast majority are running streamline. But in reality, there really isn't any reason to do it. I think honestly, it stems from sort of a misunderstanding of the talent row. Because we run streamline in M+, a lot of people probably think that the default AoE pick is streamline, but it's actually just strictly worse in pretty much all scenarios. And then also, a lot of the first public logs available ran streamline. So honestly, I think everybody just sort of copied without really thinking about it. I do find this kind of thing pretty interesting. It's happened a few times this tier with odd talents being chosen. Another example is Sire with people running streamline, which is really odd to me. Yeah, definitely go with steady focus for this. Also play with the usual Serpent Stalker legendary. I've got it on the ring here. And also I was playing with Deadly Chain over burrs. Yeah, I'll go through some of the stuff on the video. We have 4 hunters here, so we're splitting cooldowns. So each skirmisher or commando set, we rotate 2 wild spirits on each one, so we don't all just destroy one pack and then struggle with the other one. I think my opener here is a little bit awkward. I think I delayed double tap slightly, slightly too much, global too much rather. But other than that, we just pump these ads down. The first ones usually die super fast. Unfortunately, the Goliath jumps out onto the blade target, but I think I lost steady focus there for quite a while. I definitely didn't play that correctly. So this one here, you want to try and multi-dot both of them. Usually in this phase, we're fine on damage, but if we ever wipe in this phase, it's because we just lack a tiny bit of boss damage and the Goliath dies too quick. So I am trying to do more boss damage here rather than on the Goliath. Basically switch to Goliath as soon as it gets cleaved down to 30%. So what we are doing here is, yeah, see the double tap comes up like a global after volley, which so ended up being pretty badly played. But yeah, what we're doing here is we're pushing the boss before the Goliath dies, and what that means is we get the orb from this Goliath in the intermission, which is worth 30 energy out of 100, so we have to kill 3 less commandos, which is really nice. I definitely think this is probably worth doing even on progression at this point. I don't think anyone will have problems pushing this phase now, with the Goliath still up. So basically this phase here, we're just sitting, waiting for our cooldowns to come back. We don't want to push this Goliath before our wild spirits come back. And we are essentially just waiting for enough commandos to come down so that we can blast. We do want to push the Goliath to 30 before the Ravenous Feast in 20 seconds. So it usually does get it cut pretty tight. You do want to get it quite close to 30, just ready to push. So here you see we've got 6 seconds left. We're usually just like waiting for commandos to come in. Unfortunately on this pool we have 2 commandos that are dropped down. Usually we have 4 or 5. I guess that's just one of the many problems with this fight. Don't really know how many commandos you're going to get or how quickly you're going to get them, which is unfortunate. So usually here we're just kind of AFKing and putting orbs in, but we do need to kill these extra 2 commandos. Just pump their shields as much as you can, basically. I think I drop a lot of steady focus here because I'm just so worried about the shields breaking. I should have brought steady focus back up between the 2 shields. But once the shields are up, you pretty much drop what you're doing and try and just do shield damage. So go over into the corner here. We don't want to push any commandos low, so no need to hit those. Just get steady focus back up on the immune boss. Now as soon as we push into this phase, it's the other group using wild spirits here. And we're just gradually knocking these skirmishers down. One big thing here is these skirmishers like to jump out a lot. So you really do want to make sure that you position yourself so that your cast doesn't get cancelled. Like if someone stood behind you, sometimes you can cast aim shot, it will jump behind you and you just completely cancel your cast. Also, if you're casting aim shot on a low HP skirmisher, sometimes it will just cancel if it dies, so you need to be really careful about that. Make sure your raider stacked nice and tight so that no one's losing cleave damage, because obviously skirmisher damage is pretty important. So ideally here you want to multi-dot both mobs. I think we're behind on Goliath here because the first ads died a little bit slowly, so I'm just going to pump the Goliath instead of putting my Serpent Sting on Grishal. If you have multiple MDs, it's definitely a good idea to MD these skirmishers, so I like MD. I mean, it's pathetic aggro from 2 arcane shots, but I just hit cross to try and get it on our tank. Probably should have explosive before the volley here. And we're just zerging these skirmishers down one by one. So again, like P1 here, this Goliath is you either kill the boss and then the Goliath, which will give you the 30 energy again going into intermission 2. It's a little bit sketchy, but more than doable. Or you just pump the Goliath, play it safe, and then push the boss afterwards, which is what we do here. So my cooldown setter is about to come in. I think it's a bit messy because I get back up. Yeah, definitely don't play this perfectly. I think usually I refresh steady focus there, but I actually got a bit distracted by getting the backup and don't. So play a lot of this cooldown without steady focus actually, which is really bad. So here we're just finishing off these skirmishers. Another thing that's annoying with those skirmishers is sometimes they'll jump out just as you're multi-shotting and you'll end up multi-shotting and not getting trick shots. That one really tilts me. So we play this crystallize and then we push. So we're going to be spending a fair bit of time in this intermission because we didn't hold the Goliath until this phase. You can actually push through this phase extremely quickly if you hold that Goliath. And you get good commando spawns before the second eruption. Basically here, all we're doing is we're damaging this Goliath, hoping that we get a lot of commando spawn, ready so that we can push all of them and give their shields after this eruption. So we're just chilling for this eruption now. That's why you see me not using double tap, not using explosive shot, sitting on aimed shot cap. Basically just trying to wait for this sort of burn here. It is the other Hunter's Wild Spirits burn, so we're not going to do too much damage here. But just try and do as much as you can here with the AoE. Killing off the Goliath and then focusing these shields as they come in. Now the next eruption is in 10 seconds, so we're going to kill one more commando and then we're going to AFK again. Don't know why I waste that precise shot, absolutely no idea. I think I get eruption again here. Oh no, I get the backup again. Didn't mean to take this orb, that's actually unfortunate. If I actually didn't see that I had it. I think I exil on Hellstone, but I should have used Survival of the Fittest there. So now we need 2 more orbs, and we're basically just going to try and get one before this eruption, and then one ready for afterwards so that we can go into the corner and push. Honestly, the big thing here is just your overall damage in this phase doesn't really matter. It's all just about where you place it, right? Like your biggest cause of wipes is going to be the commando shields exploding. So just make sure that you are ready to go on these shields. So we're killing our last commando. This blade is usually pretty sketchy, but the 2 people that get it deal with it well. And then we come over into the corner ready to push. I multi-shot these usually to get a trick shot going into this phase. I also aim shot those there actually. I didn't even notice that. That was really padded. You can take off a little bit of damage from a flog. So we get delayed skirmishers here. You want to get Serpent Sting on both bosses. I don't spend these 2 precise shots, which is kind of bad. I think I get excited by the last, the PI, all the cooldowns, the skirmishers. I also don't have MD up here, which is a bit unfortunate because I'm getting blasted by these skirmishers. And it actually pushes back a few of my aim shots, but I think a lot of the RNG from this sort of pass here comes from that ad set. I think a couple of people maybe missed cooldowns on them for some reason, so it ends up where I just basically hog all of the damage on them. I multi-dot the other boss here. And I think this here is where I start making a lot of mistakes because I sort of go into raid leader mode thinking, oh god, please fucking kill this boss. And I end up actually not putting Serpent Sting back on Cal, which is kind of bad. At this stage here, you're just cleaving the 2 bosses down. I see the HP here on Greshao going too low. I think a few people didn't realize. So I actually get a little bit nervous here that the boss is going to he takes like extra, or he does extra damage rather when the other one is dead. But yeah, luckily it was a kill. I absolutely hate this boss with a passion. There is so many things you can do with it on as MM though to like min-max it and stuff like that. Obviously a lot of the damage is just sort of dependent on the rest of your group and how much they AoE and all that kind of stuff. But hopefully this does show at least a little bit that even with, you know, some questionable play, you can do good damage. You know, the nerf is not that bad, or, you know, the bug fix, which, you know, it is essentially a nerf. You know, we're not destroyed. We're not the worst spec in the game, like some people seem to be complaining about. You know, we can still do good AoE, and arguably this is probably the fight that the bug fix affects us, or negatively affects us the most out of any. But yeah, thanks for watching. Any questions or criticism or anything like that, feel free to post below. But yeah, cheers.